Hi guys! In this lesson we are going to talk about measuring segments. The objective of this lesson to find and compare length of segment. Let's see what we have in this lesson. The vocabulary of this lesson: coordinate, distance, congruent segments, midpoint, segment, bisector. Now, let's see the first postulate. We have discussed about 4 postulates in the previous lesson, and today we are going to learn more postulate. So, the ruler postulate is, say, every point on a line can be paired with a real number, which means any point. This is any point on a line. You can compare this one by a real number. I mean, on a real number line, you can compare this one with a real number. Let's say, for example, this is 3, for example. So that is 4, 5, it might be decimal, and so on. So this number, this 3, I will call it coordinate. Now, as a result of ruler postulate will help you to find the distance between 2 points. So distance between 2 points, which will be the absolute value of the points, the absolute value for the difference for these 2 points. I will show you in an example. But before I show you, to make the lesson more interesting, let's see this video.
The ruler postulate tells us how to find the distance between 2 points. First, we have to match each of the 2 points to a number. We call these numbers the coordinates of the points. Then, we subtract the coordinates from each other. If the resulting difference is a negative, we take the absolute value of the result, because the distance is always a positive number. We can see this process in the following formula. Distance is equal to the absolute value of c sub 1 and c sub 2, where c sub 1 and c sub 2 stand for the coordinates of the 2 points. It does not matter in which order you put the coordinates in the formula. Believe it or not, ruler postulate actually has to do with using a ruler. The ruler postulate doesn't care whether you're using a ruler with inches or centimeters, or some other measuring system you want to create. When you use the ruler postulate on a ruler, you are not using the ruler in the normal way that you usually measure between 2 points. Usually, we line up the 0 with one point and then see where the other point falls on the ruler. With the ruler postulate, we're just using the ruler to give each point a coordinate. So we line up the ruler along all of the points at one time and assign each point the number on the ruler that it falls in. Just make sure the ruler is long enough to include all of the points that you are working with so that each point ends up with a coordinate. Let's start with a couple of examples.
I think that's enough from this video, and now let's apply ruler postulate to find the measuring of the segment. So we want to find the distance between ST. So how can we find that? The coordinate for S is -4, while the coordinate for T is 8. Which means now, what will I gonna do? I'm going to take the absolute value for these 2 points. So -4 minus 8, -4, I will drop this number as it is, minus 8, and then I will get the absolute value of -12. Then with the absolute value, it will give you 12. Now, if you count this distance here or the space here, you will find it 12. Since each part here represents 2, So 2 and 2 and 2, then you will find it 2 plus 2 plus 2, you will find it 12. Now, it doesn't matter if you replace these or if you change the order between them. Let me show you what I mean. If I started with the point or the coordinate 8 minus, and remember minus 4, because this minus, it's coming from the rule, you have to minus both coordinates, while this negative, it's coming from the coordinate itself. So that will be, remember the sign rule, 8 plus 12, 8 plus 4, which is equals to the absolute value of a 12, which is equals to 12. Now, let's see what are UV. They mean what is the length of this segment. So let's share and see, indicate where is UV. So U is, the coordinates of U is 10. The coordinate of V is 14. So the absolute value of 10, I'm going to say UV is equals to, so the length of UV is equals to the absolute value of 10 minus 14, which is equals to the absolute value of negative 4, which is equals to 4. Now, the last thing that I need to do in this part, which is very easy problem. Now, what is the length of SV? Where is S? This is S. So the coordinate of S is negative 4, and the coordinate of V is 14. So we need to find the distance between them. By using ruler postulate again, SV equals to the absolute value of negative 4 minus 14, which is equals to the absolute value of negative 18, which is equals to the absolute value, which is equals to 18. That's it. So basically, ruler postulate, it will help you to find the distance between any 2 points. Let's move on. So I'm going to give one more exercise to make sure that you get the idea. Make sure that you practice them. Now, what is find the length of each segment? So AB, first thing first, let's find the coordinates of A and the coordinates of B. So the coordinates of B is negative 6. The coordinates of A is negative 8. So I will say that AB, this segment, the length of this segment is, which is equals to the absolute value of negative 8. I'm copying this number, minus, it's coming from the rule, please don't confuse with that, minus, it's coming from this number, negative 6, then that is equals to the absolute value of negative 8 plus 6, which is equals to the absolute value of negative 2, which is equals to 2. The rest exactly the same idea. Make sure that you practice them. Now, let's move to segment addition postulate. So segment addition postulate, it says, if 3 points A, B, C are collinear point, collinear, and B is between A and C, then if you notice that we said in a previous lesson that collinear points, that the points that on the same line, so these point on the same line, since this point will cut this segment into 2 segments, then we can say this segment plus this one, it will give me all the segment. So AB, which is this side, plus BC will give me all of this, which is AC. Right? Let's have practice for this one. So, if EJ, where is EJ? It's all of this one is 59. Now, I need to figure out what is this, what is this. First thing first, I need to find x. What is x first? So, let's see first what should we do. By using ruler postulate, segment postulate, segment addition postulate, what we will gonna do, I will say EF, that's what I have, plus FG will give me what? Will give me all this, which is EG. Now, you just need to exchange what you have. You need to use things that given to you. So 8x minus 14 plus 4x plus 1 equals to EG, which is this one, which is 59. Now, you need to solve it just as a regular equation, which means you will remember what you did in algebra 1. So, 8x and 4x, they are like terms. So, 8 and 4, which is 12x. Now, 14, negative 14, negative 14 and 1. So that is minus 13, which is equals to 59. Just move negative 13 to the other side. So that will be 12x equals to 59 plus 13. Add them together to get 72. So 12x equals to 72. Then next, you need to move 12 to the other side by opposite operation. So that will be x equals to 72 over 12. I'm pretty sure you know how to divide, which will give you 6. Now, my question. Did you finish? Did you answer the question? The answer is no. You did not finish. We did not answer the question that we want. We want to find EF and FG, the length of EF and FG, and we just found X. So just go ahead and replace them in what you have. So EF is given equals to 8x minus 14. Now that is equals to 8 times 6, that's what I found, minus 14. Order of operation once you calculate. So 48 minus 14. That is equals to, just subtract them to get 34. So that is 34. Now, the second one, FG. There is 2 ways here because most things you have it. Since you have all this, FG, you can do it by 2 ways. You can replace the 6 here, and calculate like this, exactly the same as this way. Or you can say, since I know all this segment is 59, and this one is 34, just minus from at 34 to get the answer. So then this will be 25. Once you subtract them, you will get 25. So that is 25. Like this, you answered the question. Let's do one more exercise. Now here we have in the diagram JL, all this 120. Now, what are JK? Again, this one. And what is this one also? Let's do exactly same thing that we did. By using segment addition postulate, we can say JK plus KL is equals to 120. Right? Now just substitute in what you have. 4x plus 6 plus KL, which is what I have, 7x plus 15. 7x plus 15 equals to 120. Here you can keep it JL. I'm going to write it JL for you because I will make the substitution in the next step. So that is JL, right? Now, let's just combine the like terms or just calculate or simplify like terms. So 4x and 7, you will get 11x. Now 6 and 15, it's 21. That is equals to 120. Just move this one to the other side by opposite operation. So x equals to 120 minus 21. Do your calculation to get the result, which is equals to 99. Now x equals to 99. 99 divided by 11. Now that is equals to, it means x equals to 9. Now just go and replace it. Go and replace this x in what you have. So that is 4x. So JK is equals to 4x plus 6. Just go and replace it. 4 times 9 plus 6. So that is equals to 36 plus 6. So that is equals to 42. Now KJ, the other KL, sorry, instead of using this one, I can easily just subtract what I got here, 42, from 120 to get the result. So 120 minus 42, which is equals to 78. That's the result. It's really easy and simple. You can just find it easily. Now let's move to the next part. I'm not going to do one more exercise because the basic idea is really simple. Make sure that you practice them. If you have any question, most welcome to ask. Now let's discuss about congruent segment. So congruent segments, which means that the one that they have the same length or the same size. So for example, AB is 1 inch and CD is 1 inch. So these two segments are congruent. In geometry, we are writing these in another way. I can just tell you by putting this line on this segment and putting this small line on this segment to show you that these two lines or these two segments are congruent instead of giving you the size or numbers. So I will tell you that I don't know, for example, what is the length for this segment, but I know that AB is equals to CD. So in geometry, we just write this symbol on both of them. Also, we can write AB as a segment. If you remember, I will write a small line on the top and small line on CD. And I can use the congruent sign, which is equal, and then there is a small sign like this. That's the mean of congruent. So this is the congruent symbol. Now let's use what we have here. Now, are AC and BD congruent? They are asking me to say and justify definitely the answer. First thing first, I will try to find the coordinates for them and find the distance. So AC, the coordinate for A is this one, and the coordinate for C is this one, which is here 5. Let me find the distance for AC. So AC will give me equals to the absolute value of -2 minus 5, which is equals to the absolute value of -7, which is equals to 7. Now, same thing with the other segment. Now, BD. Now, BD is equals to, this is B, which is here 3. Now, D, where is D, which is 10. This is the coordinate for. So the absolute value of 3 minus 10, which is equals to the absolute value of -7, which is equals to 7. Now, are these congruent? The answer is yes, they are congruent because they have the same size. So I can write AC is congruent to BD. Let's do the exercise. Use the diagram above. Is AB congruent to DE? We did not find it, so let's just use another color to find AB. So A is this one, B is this one. So AB is equals to the absolute value of -2 minus 3, which is equals to the absolute value of -5, which is equals to 5. You can just count it directly from the diagram, right? Just keep this in mind. You can just count it immediately if you want. But I usually prefer this way to show you and use a ruler postulate. Now, we have DE, DE. So I have DE is equals to, where is D? This one. E is this one. So 10, 14. So the absolute value of 10 minus 14, which is equals to the absolute value of -4, which is equals to 4. Now, are these congruent? The answer is no. Why? The reason, because 5 is not equals to 4. So they are not congruent. They are not congruent. So you have to say AB is not congruent to DE. I'm sorry because of the handwriting, but I'm working with the mouse. So I'm so sorry for that. So that's the answer for them. This is exactly the same idea. Make sure that you practice them. If you have any question, most welcome to ask. Now, let's discuss about midpoint. So midpoint of a segment, the point that divide this segment into two congruent segments. So if any line passes through this point, we can call it segment bisector. So if you see here, this B is midpoint. Why? Because it divides AC into two congruent segments. So while L, the line L, passes through this point, and since this line passes through the segment and divide the segment into two congruent segments, so we can call it segment bisector. Let's see the application for this one. Now Q is the midpoint of PR. So this is midpoint. That means this one is equal to this one, right? Now they are asking you what are PQ and QR. PQ and QR and all this. So since I know that this is equal to this one, this part is equal to this one. That's what they gave me. Let's analyze the question. So PQ is equals to 5x plus 1. I understand, sorry, I'm going to write the letters before so that is equals to QR. Now, why I am writing that? Because Q is a midpoint of PR, which means it divides the segment into congruent segments. Right, let's substitute what we have. That is equals 6x minus 7, which is equals to 5x plus 1. You will solve it as a regular equation as usual. So let's move the 7 here and let's move the x here. So 6x minus 5x, it's equals to 1 plus 7. That is equals to x, 1x, which is x equals to 8. Now, did I finish? No, I did not finish. Then I need to find PQ and QR. So let's find PQ, which is equals to 6x minus 7. Take the 8 and substitute it instead of x. So that is 8 minus 7. You know that 6 times 8 is 48 minus 7, which is equals to 41. You know that a Q is midpoint. That means if this one is 41, then this is also 41. So we can directly say PR is equals to 41 as well. You can say because, I'm writing because like this as a small, because Q is midpoint. All right, the remaining is finding PR. PR is equals to 41 plus 41, which is equals to 82. Like this, you done. Let's move to the exercise here. Again, is it necessary to substitute 8 for x in the expression for QR? In order to find the QR, explain here. No, it is not necessary because the Q is midpoint, so they are equal, as I did, so they are equal, and directly you can just say its PR is exactly same, and QR here, this is a QR. QR is 41, then PR, the overall, which is 41 plus 41, which is 82. Now, let's do this exercise. So if U is midpoint, then these are equal. So I will say 8x plus 11 equals to 12x minus 1. Then you need to combine like terms together. So 8x minus 12x, I will move it to the other side by opposite operation. Then minus 1 minus 11. So that is equals to here will give me negative 4, x equals to negative 12. Then move the negative 4 to the other side, so that is negative 12 over negative 4, which is equals to 3. Now x is equals to 3, so tu, which is equals to 8x plus 11, which is equals to 8 times 3 plus 11, which is equals to 24 plus 11. Now that is equals to 35. Do I need to find uv? No. uv is equals to 35 again. So that is uv. Now finally tv, which is the overall, which is equal 35 plus 35, which is equals to 70. Like this, I'm done. I'm done from the question. I found this one, which is 35. Then since this midpoint, so that means this segment is also 35. The overall is 70. Done. So the idea is really simple and it's really easy. You just need to practice them. So I will keep these as exercises for you. If you have any question, most welcome to ask. So just let me review and remind you what did we learn in this lesson. So in the first part, we discussed about ruler postulate, which will help you to find the distance. And then we learned about addition postulate, segment addition postulate, which will help you to find the length of some segment. Also, we discussed about midpoint, which is that will be in the middle of the segment and may divide the segment into congruent segment. And that's what we learned in the lesson. Good luck, girls.